Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Google Hangout where Team Scentastic and other awesome teams get together on every other Tuesday right here on Google and YouTube at 8:30 Eastern Time. So tonight is going to be a really fun hangout because we're going to hear, we have a guest speaker that is going to share her story. But before I put it to her, afterwards we're going to talk about we're going to listen to the director call that directors get to listen to every Monday. There's a director call, and it's only 17 minutes. And it's about this man who is a happiness researcher, and what they find is really cool. And then I'm going to talk about building your network business, this awesome CD that Jocelyn gave me, and I'll be sharing the link to this CD so that everybody can listen to it, because we really need to train our brain to becoming successful and think a certain way. So tonight is going to be a really fun, packed hangout. So I love having you guys with me, and I love that this is recorded, and we can do our Scentsy business when we have the time. So it's flexible to everybody's agenda. So this is cool. But tonight I just want people to learn other people's story, and I want people to know why other people are doing Scentsy and not just have me talk. I think it's interesting and it's fun to hear other people share their story, because then you can relate with them and see where they were 6 months ago and then where they are today. I think building connection within your team members and other girls, and you're like, wow, I'm actually doing better than that, or wow, I am where she was and I'm just there, and this is how she did it. So everybody has their own style, their own way, and I think it's really good. So I'm going to get speakers to come and talk about their Scentsy story, because I think it's really fun. So I'm going to introduce you guys to our speaker, very special speaker. She is my front line. Her name's Crystal Lafreniere, and she is our first superstar consultant for Team Scentastic. So big things are happening for Crystal, and I just thought her story is kind of cool, and I hope she kind of talks about what I kind of want her to talk about, and if not, then I'll probe her to talk about what I want her to talk about, because it's pretty cool. So anyway, so I will pass the Google Hangouts to Crystal. Thanks, Crystal, for coming. Yay!
No problem. Okay, so this all started just by going to a party that Nick was hosting, and when I went home, I kind of just searched what Scentsy was about, and then I saw everything you got with the starter kit, so I was like a kidnapper. I just wanted all the scents. So I joined in November, and I had my launch party in December, but I still hit my shooting star without having my launch party within 15 days. So that was really cool. I was shocked when I joined, because I just put it on Facebook, and then immediately it kind of blew up, and like my family was really supportive, and I had lots of friends who were like messaging me and interested. So I've been a consultant for 9 months now. I hit superstar at 6 months. What really helped me was my first recruit, Caitlin. She's doing awesome. I have a team of 27 now. Do you want me to tell my spring sprint story, Nick? Yeah. So when I went to spring sprint in February, I was a lead, and we had like this activity to do at one of the, I forget what they're called. I can't hear you. Oh, well. Anyways.
It was like a workshop. I think it was training your hostess party workshop.
Yeah. And we were teamed up with another consultant that we didn't know. So we were just having a conversation, and we were talking, and they wanted us to, one of us had to do something and the other of us had to do something else, and they wanted the person who was with Scentsy the longest or had the highest rank to do a certain thing. So when we were talking, she was like, so what are you? And I said, a lead. And she's like, well, how long have you been a lead? And I said, 3 months, I think it was. And she's like, oh my God, you're already a lead? I've been doing this for a year and I'm still a lead. And then I was like, oh, wow, okay, so I'm doing pretty good then. I don't know.
That was kind of a revelation, because like your business, my business really boomed, and what happens with your downline kind of compares themselves to you, and we should never compare our businesses because that just sometimes creates just frustration, and you're like, you didn't really know that you were doing awesome. And what I love is that we really think that everybody should go to Spring Sprint, and Spring Sprint was really beneficial in Crystal's business because I think it gave her this extra energy because she went there and she met someone who's been a Scentsy girl for a year, over a year, and is still lead. And at that point, she's like, whoa, I did not realize how awesome I am actually doing. And then when your upline tells you you're being awesome, you're like, oh, well, you have to tell me that. You have to tell me that I'm awesome. So I love that the fact that I think this is the first time she actually left her little boy for the weekend. And I always tell people that when you go out of your comfort zone, when you go and do training and you go to activities, you get rewarded. And Crystal really got rewarded because she met tons of people who are in the same rank, and they've been in Scentsy for so much longer. So that was a really crucial point in Crystal's business, and I wonder if she wouldn't have come to Spring Sprint, where would her business be today? Probably still extremely successful, but it's just really interesting because that was like, oh, she, I think, got some fire under your bum. And when you go to Spring Sprint, there is fire under your bum afterwards because you kind of want to take your business to the next level, because it's like workshop after workshop after workshop of learning how to train your hostess, how to recruit, customer service. And I know Caitlin, one of the things that she learned that when we were discussing on our way home was that at that point she was just putting all products in a bag and that's it. And now she's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure to pretty up the bag and make sure that they see it as a gift. Because I remember buying something from the bag company. It's like 28.
31?
Yes, 31. And literally she just gave me the bag. And I'm like, oh, this is not exciting like Scentsy, you know. Nice bag with little stuff and a bow on it. It just looks like a present, and people love getting presents. So I really like that aspect. So everybody really learned something from going to Spring Sprint. And really, what's fun is that Crystal's family is really supportive, like she said. And how did Caitlin, your little superstar on your team, come onto your family?
My mom actually did all the work for me. I've known Caitlin for a long time. We've always been like friends, and my mom worked with her at the casino, so they were talking, and my mom was telling her like, Crystal joined Scentsy, and she's really enjoying it, and she's doing really good with it. And then Caitlin kind of looked into it, and she ended up joining, and that was probably the best thing that happened for my business because she's a rock star. And we've both grown a good team together, so.
Yeah. That's what I love, too. It's like sometimes you think, well, people see my Facebook, so they know that I am a Scentsy rep, so I don't necessarily need to talk to them and tell them about my Scentsy business. We should never assume that. We should always be, you know, her mom did it for her, but now Crystal, after, we'll talk about this a little bit after, when you tell people, like, I just want to let you know about this wonderful blessing that's in my life. It's kind of like you're giving them a favor by sharing your Scentsy story and letting them know that it's never too late, that people are still joining Tupperware. Like, why would anyone go to a Tupperware party? Okay, I'm not bashing company. I don't want to bash company, but that's not what I'm doing. But it's just like, if we can go to a Tupperware party, then we would definitely go to a Scentsy party because it's so much fun. So anyways, I'm not bashing Tupperware. Actually, I love Tupperware. Tupperwares are awesome, but I don't know if I would spend my Friday night going to a Tupperware party. And how many Tupperwares do you really need? I know my mom has so much Tupperware, so maybe, you know, it's just different demographic. But so Scentsy was really fun, and Crystal came to the party, and then we met, and literally I woke up a couple nights later, and I'm like, whoa, Crystal joined my team, and that was awesome, and I was really excited. Crystal, okay, so when you first got your first recruit, which Caitlin, your mom kind of did all the work, but you then did all the work afterwards.
I trained her, yeah.
Yeah, you trained, and you did all that support, and you're always there for her. But when you went outside your comfort zone and recruited someone, how was that feeling? Like, was it easier afterwards when
Yeah, for sure. Like the recruiting is all word of mouth, I feel. You really have to talk to people and tell them your experience with it. I noticed with parties, like my first couple parties, I was a little bit like, oh my God, no, 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 like kind of shy. But now it's like a walk in the park. I just do my spiel. I talk about the product. And like you get out of your comfort zone. You get more comfortable with everything. Like it's just doing it more and you get more comfortable.
Yep. Yep. It's so true. And so you probably heard a lot of no's then, because you probably ask many people to
Oh,
join
for sure.
them.
Yeah.
So I like that. You kind of have to go outside your comfort zone. And sorry, some people are trying to jump on and it's not working out for them. I'm checking it now. Thanks. Okay. So,
and that's the thing. You can't get discouraged. Like, there's going to be times where you're like, oh, well, you got to stay positive and keep moving forward. Not everybody's going to say yes.
Yep. It's true. And you've actually had, you know, a few frustrating things have happened in your business, but you've always stayed positive instead of letting it take over your mind. You're like, you know what? I'm going to stay positive. This is happening for a reason. And then look at you now. You're a superstar consultant, and the next spot is director. And if things keep going the way they are going, you will be director in November. And I hate saying this out loud, but I'm kind of throwing it to the universe because we've been working on this for a while, and it hasn't even been a year. Our family is not even a year old, so this is really exciting. So as of August 14th, I will have been in Scentsy for a year, and then we are going to start having Scentsy anniversary parties, which is really, really cool. So Crystal, what do you think you have done to bring your business where it is today? What are things that you've done that you can share with the team?
Well, number one, I feel, is customer service. And number two would be staying positive and just moving forward. If you come into obstacles, just everything happens for a reason. It's all good. Just keep going. Not every month is going to be huge. There's going to be slower months than others. Definitely customer service, like staying in touch with them, letting them know the status of their orders, if they've been shipped, packaging your orders, making them all pretty kind of thing.
That's some really good advice, especially, you know, letting them know when it's shipped, because people like to know the status of their order. So that's something really good that we can all do and make our orders really pretty. That's really awesome as well. And with Scentsy, it's pretty much you just got to stick it out, because a lot of people want to be successful, but it's like they don't really want to work for it. And most of the times, I'll say 98% of times I've had, maybe even 100% of the time. 100% of the time I've had training in my house. Crystal was there. Crystal went to Spring Sprint. Crystal is on most of my Hangouts if she is not working. So is it a coincidence that Crystal has a successful business? I don't think so. Because what we focus on grows, and Crystal has focused on her business, and she posts about her business. She shares about her business. So the more she's out there, and like she said, word of mouth, the more successful your business will grow. Now, Crystal, what would you say would be like, okay, so we know why you joined Scentsy. It's because you were a kidnapper and you just wanted the kit, which I was a kidnapper. I just wanted the kit. But why are you still in Scentsy?
I was actually just going to bring this up because so I had my son's 2 now, but when I came off of mat leave, I dropped my full-time position at work and I went casual, and Scentsy has compensated that income for me, so I'm able to stay home more with my son and not be at work full-time. It's done a lot for me. We're part of this big group, this amazing Scentsy sister group. A lot of interactions, new friends.
It's true. It's kind of incredible the friendships you create with the Scentsy family. People that I talk to on a weekly, sometimes daily basis, people that I would have never ever talked to if it wasn't for Scentsy. And don't you find it really exciting, Crystal, when your downline gets promoted and they really get excited and they send you messages like, oh my God, I just hit this, and then you pump them up, and it's like we are helping, we're kind of inspiring people and we're empowering people, which is really exciting, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite parts, and just the fact that a lot of people, well, most of the people on our team, even myself, you just think you're just this regular person and you're going to just go get a regular job, and then you get the regular job and you're like, man, is this what life is all about? I'm going to work 9 to 5 for this wage, and this wage is not really going to go up much. Like, if I think about where I was in my salary, and in 10 years' time, my salary wouldn't increase that much. Well, with Scentsy, the more you give, the more you get. So the potential is incredible. And we get to earn trips all around the world. There's leadership every January. Last year it was Mexico, right, Julie? Yeah, okay, Mexico. This year it's in Florida. And then I earned a Caribbean cruise, full week Caribbean cruise for me and my boyfriend. So Scentsy gives you that. That's when your upline and yourself gets promoted. You get a bunch of points. So that starts August 1st, which is really soon, and our team is growing. And I wouldn't be surprised if Laurel, you're there, Crystal, you're on that incentive trip, Julie, you're on that incentive trip, the other Julie, you're on the incentive trip. People are just booming. It's just wonderful. And it's just, I don't get free trips with my regular job. So it's really a time thing. So someone had told me when you have 10 people join, you'll keep 3. And I don't know what the timeline is, because statistically on my team that is not the case right now. But that's because we have like an amazing upline, and when I'm not around, my upline's like kicking in full tilt and helping each other out. And so we do these hangouts, so we try to stay connected as much as possible. Or we're just like recruiting rock stars. I don't really know, but our team's like freaking awesome. So if you're recruiting 10 people and we keep only 3 and 3 only stay, all these people had a launch party. So all these people have customers, and those customers now need a new rep. So if everybody is joining Scentsy, it's a good thing. It is not a bad thing. The market will not be saturated for another 50 years, okay? Promise me. I promise you. So don't worry about that. So it's actually a really good thing. And right now it's only been around for 10 years, so it's the perfect time to be in Scentsy. So all we got to do is stick it out. Give me 3 years and start telling in your life that you are Scentsy for life. And I know, Laurel, you're Scentsy for life, and Crystal, you're Scentsy, and pretty much everybody that's on here is Scentsy for life, because you have a downline. And when you have a downline, you don't really want to let that go, because that's where we get, paid on we get like bonuses from having a downline. So that's really exciting. But I love having you guys on the team, and I love having Crystal share her story, because I think you guys can relate a little bit more about Crystal. Crystal, did you want to share anything else?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm good.
You think you're good? You think you're good? So how do you go out and get your parties?
Me?
Yeah.
Word of mouth. I talk about it. I message people. Yeah.
And you'll tell. Do you like give incentives if people have parties?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use the perpetual party reward. I always treat my hostess as good. Like, even if somebody's doing a big party and they're not quite at 200, I'll throw in an order to help them get there so they get their rewards. If somebody messages me and they have an order of over $200, then I'll give them the rewards on that. Like, I always try to make sure they're getting their money's worth and helping them. I'm always keeping in contact with them. But communication is key.
It's true. That is correct. That's true. And it's really fun that you and your boyfriend's really supportive, because he's like, wow, you'd be staying at home right now and you're actually making money, so this is awesome.
Yep.
So you have time to be a mom, and you have time to make money, and you have time for your social life, because it's like your boyfriend sees the money come in, so he's like, okay, yeah, you can go to this Scentsy party. or Scentsy training, or he doesn't bother you every other Tuesday at 8:30 when you're doing this Google Hangout, you know, because he sees the money come in. So that's really cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We have 3 viewers too, so this is really cool. So we don't know if these are newbies or some. I think some of it are a team that can't really get on. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. When you become a director, there is director hangouts every Monday. And the last one was really good. It's only 17 minutes. So I'll let you guys listen to that. We will talk about this, and I'm going to share a link to building your network business. And literally, it's just a CD that I've listened about 3 times. And if you want to be successful, you need to copycat successful people. You need to research successful people. What are they doing? You know, instead of us being jealous of people who are really, really successful, let's see what they're doing, and then we got to do it. Are our dreams too small? You know? This is just a hobby, this Scentsy thing. Well, then it's only going to pay like a hobby. But if you see and envision your business like a business, it's going to grow into a business. So the webinar that I'm going to get you guys to listen to talks about that, which is really, really neat. So I'm going to set that up. 1 second. And I'm going to mute myself. Whoops, you guys couldn't hear that. Sorry, I muted myself, hence why you couldn't freaking hear it. Sorry. Okay, let me fix this. I could hear you guys, but not the video. Okay. Thank you to my team. You guys are awesome. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working?
and I'm here at the Scentsy home. It's the leadership announcements. We'll get through those first. And right now, the first thing we're going to let you know is that today, in touch with your customer, you've still got several weeks of that. And that is a limited time starter kit, which includes the just the essentials for a new person to get started, and it is $49 in the U.S. and $59 in Canada. So an incredible recruiting incentive that everyone in the U.S. and Canada can offer their prospective recruits. So hopefully that will make a big difference for you in your recruiting efforts. And we look forward to hearing your stories about that too. And as always, the full starter kit, the $99 starter kit in the U.S. and $119 starter kit in Canada is always available, of course, and people can choose between the essential starter kit and the full starter kit. Some news about Velada. Velada unveils 2 new meltables. Some exciting romantic news. Barman and Warmer Woman are getting married in Las Vegas this year at the Scentsy Family Reunion. The wedding of the century, in fact, will be held at the Scentsy Family Reunion in July in Las Vegas, and you do not want to miss it. So stay tuned for more details on how you can win this ultimate backstage pass. In lieu of gifts, the happy couple has created a charitable wedding registry for friends and fans, in which all donations will be given to a local Las Vegas charity. Check the news tab soon for more details about how to participate. That's kind of fun. All right. Oh, Scentsy fan page on Facebook for daily clues about the Scentsy Family Reunion reveals. We have exciting news about Scentsy to share, but if you want in on our secret, you have to like the Scentsy fan Facebook page first. We're posting a daily clue or riddle about the Scentsy Family Reunion reveals on the Scentsy fan page on Facebook. Be the first to guess the correct answer, and you could win a prize related to the clue when we make the big announcement from stage at Scentsy Family Reunion on July 22nd of this year. The Velada convention for 2015, it is $250 in on that. The next available director boot camp in the coming weeks or months. It is going to be held here at your events tab to learn more about that week. Get on that call. University, and he is so to me, my perception is that time, so many new experiences, and I think jumped on a trampoline, rode bikes. When I was a kid, I remember time just crawled. Oh my word, every day felt like it lasted forever, and not in a bad way. I could have gone swimming, I could have jumped on a trampoline, rode bikes, hauled wood, cleaned my room. There were so many things that I did in a day, and it just felt like the day lasted forever, and I could get so many things done, and I had so many new experiences in a single day. And as an adult, that's not how I perceive time anymore. As an adult, time seems to crawl. Well, it goes fast, but I don't seem to be able to get as much done during the day. So to me, my perception is that time is kind of crawls. So I was doing a little bit of research this weekend in preparation for the call and thinking about this topic, and I actually found a gentleman by the name of Dan Gilbert, who is a psychologist at Harvard University, and he is a happiness expert. How cool is that? I would like to have that tagline and be able to claim that, but sadly I can't. Anyone that knows me can attest to that. But at any rate, I digress. So Dan did a really interesting research project, and he kind of wanted to discover a couple of things. And the questions that he wanted to ask is, well, he started out with, when does time change in human beings' perspective? When does time change from a gallop to a crawl? When does our perception change about that? And what he found was actually pretty interesting. What he found was that, in general, most people, see if I can click the right button, they answered that now, wherever now happens to be, now is when people perceived that time started to crawl rather than gallop. They, wherever you are in life, that is where you begin to feel like as if you're not keeping up with time. So then he had a few other questions he decided to ask. And what he wanted people, he actually had a sample group of a couple thousand, and he asked them to do two things. They were various ages, all the way from 18 clear to 68 or 70 years old. And what he wanted them to do was two things. The first was he wanted them to predict how much they will change in the next 10 years. How much they will change, how much their life will change, how much their preferences will change, their personality, the things they do, their accomplishments, what changes would they expect or predict in the next 10 years. And then the second thing they wanted them to do was he wanted them also to report on how much did you change in the last 10 years. So he was wanting them to predict how much they were going to change in the future, and also let them know, well, how much did you change in the last 10 years? And by doing that, he was able to get a very interesting set of data about large groups of people of various ages and their perception of change over time. And here's what he found. The top line is what their reported changes were in the last 10 years. And the bottom line is their predicted changes in the next 10 years. And they did this over and over again with lots of different people, and it was very consistent, whether they were talking about personality changes, work changes, life changes. What people predicted would change was vastly lower than what actually changed over 10 years. And it was so dramatic, in fact, that if you were to draw a line from the 18-year-olds to 28-year-olds, and you drew it over to where what they predicted met up with what that actually happened, people who were 18 to 28 years old actually predicted their life would change about as much as the 60-year-olds did change. So what that means is we are dramatically under-predicting our future and the amount of change that will happen and that we're capable of having happen. Now, what he says is when people say, he explains it this way, when people say that I can't imagine that, they're usually talking about their own lack of imagination and not about the likelihood of the event that they were describing would actually happen. So, and he describes it, he says that, he explains it as that it's really a case of it's easy to remember, the ease of remembering versus the difficulty of imagining. So we can remember what happened, but it's really difficult as human beings to actually imagine what our potential for change, our capacity for change, and the actual change that will take place for that to happen. And he says that human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they are finished. And I really like that saying because as a human being myself, I really fall into this trap a lot, and I would venture to say that a lot of people probably do also, where they take a look at themselves and in their own measurement of themselves, they feel as though they've arrived someplace and that they're somehow finished. And but in reality, we are in progress all the time, and we always have the potential of changing. So how does this relate to business? What can we make of this? I have a challenge for you, and I'm taking this challenge myself. And my challenge for you and myself is to spend sometime this week. I'd like you to spend an hour, at least an hour, which on the face of it might not actually sound like much time, but I will bet that this is actually pretty difficult. That amount of time, spending that amount of time on yourself is probably not very common. So spend an hour imagining your future self. And while you're at it, I challenge you to imagine more for yourself than you are comfortable imagining. And once you've imagined it and it's good and you have a clear vision of what you could do in the next 10 years, I want you to write it down. Write it down. And then I want you to do 3 things this week that will move you closer to the future self you imagined. 3 things. Now, everybody can steal away 1 hour, whether it's from your sleep or from some TV show that you like to watch. Steal away that 1 hour. Imagine yourself in the future. Imagine more for yourself than what you're comfortable. Write it down, and then do 3 things this week. 3 very specific things this week that will move you closer to that future self that you want. And with this, I will leave you for the week, and I wish you the very best of luck, and talk to you later. Bye now.
How did you guys like that? I really think that that's super cool because I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, and I'm all about thinking positive, and not only thinking positive, believing that you can have a massive team. Believe that you can quit your job full-time because you're going to have a team of 300 people. You just have to believe it. It's like, oh my God, I need 300 people. Yeah, but in 3 years' time, that's a total possibility. That's not, okay, even 4 years' time, 5 years' time, you know? Like, if we just keep doing what we're doing right now for 5 years, we are literally creating our retirement. We can literally sell our business to somebody else too. So it's a long-term investment, Scentsy. And I love that a lot of us don't do a lot for ourselves. And Scentsy is kind of a thing that a lot of women who have children do for themselves. They have, minimum 2 parties a month. And they go out there and they socialize and they get a little high because they're all excited because they'll have 1 person or 2 people join their team and they get all excited and it's really exciting and they make all these new friends. But I love what she said. Take 1 hour and write down 3 things of your future self and do 3 things that week that will get you there. So think about that, and we should always, every day sit down and just imagine your big, big dreams. Big dreams. Think big. If your dreams are not scaring you, they aren't big enough. So before we finish up, I am going to just let you guys know that I am sharing this Building Your Network Marketing Business. I just had to download Chrome so I can put all these files all onto the Google Drive. So on the Google Drive, I have a folder dedicated to motivational stuff that I'm going to start sharing with you guys because I think it's really good not only to learn about our business, but also to help motivate our own self and to help us train into the successful person that we want to be. And then, this successful American's foremost business philosopher. Well, what has Jim Rohn has been doing? Has hundreds of top executives, companies. So like, what has he done? Well, we need to copy him. We need to do exactly what he's been doing. So that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to get there. So we stay positive, we come on the Hangouts, and we learn something about someone else's business or, you know, or our own business, and we get little tools. So I hope you guys are enjoying your email campaign. You should have gotten, yeah, you got a new email today. Or you're going to get another email on Thursday. And I just created a video on just recruited, now what? And exactly what you need to be doing with your recruit. And if you do everything in this video, then your recruit should be very well on their way to a successful business. I also created a folder that I will share with you guys that has a checklist of everything that your recruit needs to know. So thank you so much for hanging out. I don't know if anybody has anything to say or ask questions. Oh, we have Julie, you didn't get an email. That's true. I should add you to my MailChimp, actually. I should add you. I'll add you. Okay, so Amanda, you should have gotten that. You said your email is wonky, so you're going to have to fix your email. I'll make sure that I got the right email, but that's good to know. I will definitely check. So thank you guys for watching Hangout. The people that are on, you can stay on. I'm just going to stop going live. But thanks for everyone for watching, and in 2 weeks' time, we're actually going to be in Vegas. So I don't think I'm going to have a Hangout, or maybe we will do a Hangout. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Depends how many Caesars I have. So we'll see. So I'll let you guys know when our next Hangout is. So keep rocking your business. Start asking the questions. If you are not hearing no, you are not doing your jobs. Hearing no's are good, okay? Keeping awesome. Bye.